Alright guys, let's get started with the brand new Diablo update to all of the nerfs. So I'm going to summarize all of the things mentioned in like the, I don't know, it's like a one and a half hour live stream that they did. We're going to summarize all of the important points. So starting right off, this is the start of it. It has a massive apology to basically all the nerfs. Here's like their words.
To reducing player power. We know it is bad. We know it is not fun. And it's something that, you know, we ourselves know that it's not the greatest play experience for players out there. We do want to explain why we ended up doing it.
Okay, so a bunch of these things were basically, they want to nerf some of the best skills so then some other skills can kind of shine, but they need to give us better tools. That's basically the summary of this. However, there is a new patch called 111 that's going to be giving us extra stash space, and on top of that, when is it coming out, all of that stuff. But I wanted to play a few clips that were kind of like demonstrating the most important points. There is actually another nerf in here, and this is huge. This is a massive nerf to vulnerability going from a multiplicative to additive. This is one of the most important things in this entire thing that I think you guys really need to pay attention to, because this is a huge nerf. So this right here is Joe talking about moving vulnerable to additive.
I think we all know that the ultimate problem with damage to vulnerable creatures, the fact is multiplicative stacking on top of the base vulnerable damage, which is already multiplicative on its own. Like this is the reason why the stat plays such an outsized role in a lot of player builds. We're going to need to move that to an additive place, but we can't do that without making a number of other adjustments.
So they're saying we can't do that without making other adjustments. These other adjustments need to be massively, massively, massively buffed, and if they don't, this is going to be a huge another big mistake. Okay, and in terms of stash space, here is the timestamp on this one. This is another very important thing, and then I'm going to go ahead and go over the points rapid fire, but I wanted to have this in like actual words here, like from them saying it, because it's important for the video. So this is basically the stash tab update.
In Season 2, like you said, but we need more stash help.
Yes, we need more stash tabs.
Right? And so,
10 more.
In 111, we're going to be adding an additional stash tab.
Okay, and the chat went wild when they said this. They said an additional one.
For players, so they can store more.
An additional means one more, okay? So now that I've gotten the important like words directly from them, I'm just going to have it play in the background so we have some visual stuff so I can go over the other important points. So when does this patch hit? So first off, they don't have a concrete date. Next week, they're going to be doing an additional live stream, and on this additional live stream, they're going to give us more concrete stuff. My guess is on the 1st of next month. So they're doing another live stream, and they said, well, it's going to come out really soon. That's the following Tuesday after the live stream, okay? There's also going to be some new updates that will be happening today, which is going to be a extra density change, as well as the density changes happening in the Hell Tides as well as in the Nightmare Dungeons. They also want to make leveling faster from 50 to 100, and on top of that, they want the Nightmare Dungeon that is 100 to be at the same power as a current 70. So what this means is it's going to be easier. They are also going to be buffing goblins, so loot goblins will be getting additional buff. I already talked about the stash tab, which is, again, from my understanding, an additional stash tab, and the chat was going crazy when they mentioned this. One is not enough, okay? This is me trying to tell them you need, like, a minimum would have been 3, would have been like, well, it's a nice. 5 would have been like, okay. 10 would have been like, thank you, Blizzard. So I'm not sure why they decided, an additional stash tab. It's not enough, okay? And then on top of that, other things that are being changed, a lot of people were asking questions about the sorceress, and they're like, yeah, we've noticed that there are certain monsters that do way more damage. Nothing specifically for like sorceress getting buffed. However, they're going to be taking a look at the monsters that are killing players a lot more, basically if you're getting frozen and stuff like that, you know. Yeah. But anyways, on top of that, they actually had a few different points that they wanted to mention here. I'm going to pop it up on screen. So they said they want a wide variety of viable builds to be discovered, to be put together and optimized across all the classes. They want these new items and powers to keep the game fresh. This is kind of just, I don't know really what the point of this really was, to just say that we want to have more diversity in the game, as I think that, you know, the main point of that. And then on top of that, they want to increase build diversity with like this little, like they had little thing that popped up. These meta changes will occur at predictable times. So for some of these updates and when this will happen, this is going to be before the season ends. So this is not going to be coming in season 2. There's going to be, again, a patch relatively soon. Again, no exact date on that. My guess is, again, on the 1st. And then on top of that, in terms of leaderboards, they did mention that leaderboards will be happening on pretty much season 3. And then the Uber Uniques, the most important thing that they talked about is they will actually have these drop more frequently. They still want them to be very rare, but they're going to happen more frequently eventually. So I don't know what that exactly means. Maybe when we get World Tier 5. World Tier 5 was data mined like months ago, or no, actually a couple like weeks ago maybe. But at the end of the day, it was data mined. There is going to be a World Tier 5. Now, is that data mined sometimes just as a placeholder? Could be, but my guess is they will add more content later. And someone mentioned loot filters and other ideas. They're saying it's a great idea. We have things that we want to improve on. And what was really interesting is they mentioned loadouts. If you play Diablo 3, there is that like armory where you can just swap builds with like one button. They kind of mentioned it. They didn't say, no, we're definitely not doing loadouts. But what's interesting with Diablo 4 is you have to pay million plus. It's about $1 million. I think it's 1,200,000-ish to respect your character. So if you do that, and on top of that, that's not counting the Paragon. I believe that's just with the character itself in the skill tree. But if they have the system, it's still more likely going to cost you gold. If they made it free, that would be actually something really nice to just be able to swap from, like, let's say you play Hoda Barb and then you want to play Whirlwind Barb, or you're playing one build and you want to just swap. I think this is a really nice change, and that wasn't, like, left completely out as something that can't be implemented in. As far as loot filters, there's nothing like concrete, again, on a date for that. But that's going to pretty much wrap up what I wanted to talk about and giving you guys all of the condensed information that was important. I took some notes on the side. But yeah, so basically, we're getting a new patch that's going to be happening before Season 2. And it's going to be, my guess is on the 1st of next month. So just in a couple weeks. And in terms of the gem change, that's going to be happening in Season 2, where we just get to have that be absorbed into our inventory. And you know what's interesting, actually? This is actually a really good point. They said they wanted to do something new with the end game. So what does that mean? I don't know. This live stream mentions that they're going to be doing another live stream that's going to have all of the notes. But I think that they really need to take a look at this current patch and do something a little bit faster. I'm curious to know how you guys feel about this, but I really think that the first step would have been to just say we're going to revert the patch notes, and then on top of that, we're going to give you guys extra buffs. We're going to massively buff the Sorceress. There's a couple of things that they mentioned with the Sorceress and the Barbarian in terms of like the legendary aspects that aren't being used. So maybe you may see some sort of buff to specifically the Sorceress and Barbarian aspects in the upcoming 111, or that might be in Season 3, or Season 2 is what I should say, because that was something that was mentioned. Resistances are still not being fixed in the 111 update, but the changes to resistances will happen in Season 2. Anyways, that's going to wrap things up. If there's any other questions or anything that you guys felt was important that maybe you guys watched the live stream, let me know down below, because I kind of just summarized what I felt like was very important. But again, there's going to be another patch that will happen today that is going to be adding some of these things. We don't know exactly every single one because I haven't posted the official thing yet over on the news, but I'll update you guys when it does happen. So if you guys enjoyed the video, drop a like, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys in the next one. And let me know, guys, what you think of what they mentioned. I think one stash tab is not enough, but I don't know. Maybe I'm just a hoarder with my stuff. Anyways, peace out.